For months and months, it's been rumored that the hit global pop star The Weeknd would be making his debut at Halloween Horror Nights in the haunt industry. And today, Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal Orlando Resort both confirmed those rumors are indeed true, and there's a lot more that fans can look forward to in this haunted house experience. What's going on, everyone? My name is Scott and you're watching Exploring Attractions, and if you want to watch videos like the one that you're about to watch right now, make sure to subscribe with those bell notifications on. We just dropped a new line of merchandise with a new kind of, like, I guess you could say, Honda logo. So if you want to purchase that, it does help out the channel a whole lot. I'll leave that link down below in the description, and as always, check us out on Instagram and on Twitter, all down in the description below. The Weeknd is officially coming to Halloween Horror Nights 2022, and there's tons to break down from it. This will probably be the most detailed house announcement video that I've ever done on this channel, so without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Perfect.
Enter the Weeknd After Hours Nightmare. Only at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights.
A couple days ago, Universal's social media team put out this interesting promo gif, as they have, with all the different ones promoting kind of a teaser for the trailer on what it's going to be. Now, lots of fans are speculating like it'd be cool if they announced The Weeknd on the weekend. However, that wasn't the case. Universal made us wait a while, and now we obviously have confirmation on what it is. The Weeknd's After Hours Nightmare, a brand new haunted house that dives deeper into the nightmares fueled behind the After Hours album's music videos. There's lots of breakdown in this. There's lots of thoughts. There's lots of opinions. There's tons of stuff going on in the community, and I have my own thoughts and opinions. But first and foremost, I want to get into this juicy article that Entertainment Weekly put out. This was actually put out before the announcement even went public, and there's lots that John Murdy talked about as far as what to expect from this house. The Weeknd himself actually said, "I feel like my music videos have served as a launching pad for a collaboration like this, and I cannot wait for people to experience this madness." Now, of course, this will all surround the After Hours album, hence the name After Hours Nightmare, and there will be 6 songs from his soundtrack featured in this house: After Hours, In Your Eyes, Heartless, Blinding Lights, Save Your Tears, and Too Late. Now, like I said, John Murdy of Hollywood and Charles Gray of Orlando gave a lot to Entertainment Weekly, it seems, and honestly, it's a breakdown of the full house. Now, the first room that we're going to enter into the house is a sequence called Nightmare Extraction, where you see the Weeknd almost like in Clockwork Orange, you know, where he's set up with all the headsets and whatnot, where he's trapped into a chair with the headset, and the headset is connected to all these different monitors. All this darkness going on inside his head creating this album is being sucked out, and you're seeing these images flash subliminally like the whole thing is about to explode. And of course, Murdy also did confirm that we'll see a lifelike figure of the Weeknd's body in this kind of headset contraption, and he'll obviously make a scare as guests walk by. I think that's a really neat concept that they're starting off with, and I think it's awesome that you'll notice as I go through this article more and more that there are different sections of it that they have deemed as, you know, a title of it. It's not like they're just doing some random stuff throughout the whole house. They actually have names for the different sections in this. And this one, of course, is the Nightmare Extraction, perfect for what they're setting up the scene to be. What follows is a trek through environments we've seen before in The Weeknd's music videos, but taking a step further. After Hours Club, for example, is an industrial warehouse lifting vibes from In Your Eyes, including long hallways and a dirty, dingy warehouse club. Now, the finale actually takes place in the After Hours metro station. You know, that metro station that he was in at the end of the After Hours short film, and kind of sets up the rest of the music videos. We're actually going to get to experience it in real life and walk through there, and of course, there's going to be different horror-filled surprises throughout it. One thing that Murdy also did mention is there's going to be this toad-like figure, and it's not going to be a little friendly toad. It's going to be a terrifying one. So as you can see in one of his music videos, he licks abducts a toad. I believe it is in Heartless. And then he starts to hallucinate of him turning into a toad. You don't see much more after that, but that's where the unanswered question comes in on what this toad figure may look like. Well, they're going to bring it to life and it's going to look absolutely terrifying. I don't think that it's the one in the key art on the left hand side of him, but I do think that that will also be featured in there. That seems to be some form of lizard or something like that. And I'm just happy that they're creating different creatures as a part of this house to bring to life and make it even more scary and terrifying than it already will be. Now, I do want to move into more of my thoughts on After Hours Nightmare getting announced. I do know that a lot of the community is kind of torn 50-50 on this, and there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of positivity. It's just a mix of both. Obviously, if you're a diehard horror fan, you're not as, excited for something like this. You don't want something like this coming into a horror-themed event. And then if you're on the other side of things, you're excited to see something like this because it opens up a whole nother genre to horror, right? And while not a lot of people are big fans of this getting announced, honestly, I'm all for it. I think this is going to be awesome. I think that there is so much in the storyline of his album and just so much undiscovered stuff that is kind of hinted in these different music videos that can be unlocked in these haunted house experiences, especially considering the fact that The Weeknd has a vivid imagination. He's creating these short films and whatnot, and there's a lot that he thinks about when creating these music videos. And if you just go watch the 6 that are going to be featured in the house, you can definitely see where that's coming from, and you can see how it could fit into this. Now, at first, obviously, lots of people are going to be confused and wondering how is this even going to work, but I'd highly recommend reading the rest of the Entertainment Weekly article, and I'll drop that down below in the description as well, because everything that they were describing in that, it just seems like something that is going to send fans on an immersive experience that they didn't think that they were going to get with something like this. And I get it, everyone. Real talk, Scott talking here. If I'm a diehard horror fan, then I wouldn't want to see this coming. I think that stuff like Slipknot should be coming, right? However, I'm optimistic with stuff, and that's why I'm excited for this. A little bit backstory here. In 2020, the big rumor was Billie Eilish, and there's actually photos posted by people of them getting a hold of old Billie Eilish props that were supposed to be featured in the house. We all know what happened in 2020, and she was going through a different change in her career, so that's why that house didn't happen. And I definitely think that The Weeknd has way more potential than Billie Eilish does, and I'm just so happy for this genre to be opening up in the horror, or let's just say haunted house industry, since horror is just its own genre, so we'll just say the haunted house industry. Honestly, I think that Murdy said it best. What excites me most about this project is expanding the boundaries of our event and of horror in general. I hate when people try to put a genre in a box. Abel's music extends beyond genres, and the experience is created in the same spirit. Whatever you think it is, think again. And I can 100% agree with what he's saying right there. I think he said it best. He said it in the most respectful way to horror fans and also people who are excited for this. So I'd recommend, at least, like, you guys don't have to, you guys have your own opinions and whatnot, but I'd recommend just giving it a shot before stepping into it and thinking that it's going to be the worst house that you've ever seen at Horror Nights. Because in years prior, especially in Hollywood, especially with Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare, everyone thought the same thing, that it wasn't going to be as good. Now, obviously, there wasn't a lot of backlash as The Weeknd's getting. However, lots of people thought that it wouldn't be a great thing. How would Alice Cooper fit into a haunted house? However, that house was definitely fantastic. Like, it was awesome, and you can go back and watch the walkthroughs of it. It was an awesome house. And I think that John is so passionate about music houses, at least. So, obviously, he's got the partnership with Slash. He's had Figured featured in them multiple times. Black Sabbath, Alice Cooper. I think he's too passionate to let something like this fail, especially with a big name like The Weeknd. The Weeknd is definitely the biggest magnitude of announcement they've ever done, and the biggest to be featured at Halloween Horror Nights, in my opinion. Yeah, you could say Slash is up there as well, but The Weeknd, like I said, is a global pop star. So it's going to bring tons of eyes to this event, and just like I said, it's such a big win for Universal in general. Now, if you look at it from a consumer side and look at it from a fan standpoint, if it make more revenue this year, that means a higher budget, and that equals, of course, an amazing haunted house event. because the more and more revenue they make, the more and more goes into improving the qualities into these different haunt events every single year. Honestly, the key art looks freaking amazing. Like I said, whatever that lizard creature is looks terrifying. Unless that is the toad creature, and who knows, it just looks like a lizard to me. But I want to say that this is definitely up there with my top favorite key arts, like of Horror Nights in all time that I've been going. It looks awesome. I love the red. I love how it all kind of mixes together. It just looks amazing. Now in Hollywood, this house will be located in Soundstage 29. That's last year we had The Exorcist in there, so I'm really hyped to see all the different effects that they can pull off. Now Soundstage 29 has had a few, I don't want to say failures, but just not high rated mazes, let's just say that. Stranger Things 1 was great. Obviously we all know what happened with Stranger Things 2, but I'm really hoping that they have some form of big facade for the Weeknd in this one. I don't think they will be, because they typically don't. They just have like a black wall that you walk into. It was different with The Exorcist, because The Exorcist already had a facade from 2016, so they just popped it up in there. But I'm really hoping they think about putting a facade in for After Hours Nightmare in Soundstage 29. And that's going to be located right behind Transformers The Ride. And I really thought about, is it going to be more upbeat in there, or is it going to be more distorted? Well, Murdy actually answered that on Twitter, saying that the slowed down distorted effect really works well in Horror Nights. As you all know, in 2016 with Halloween 2, they kind of used that with Mr. Sandman. The music got slow and distorted, and then there's a scare, and he says he really likes that effect, so that's going to come back with the Weeknd house, which I'm excited about because I think that fits perfectly. I think that effect is awesome. But that is all I have to say about the Weeknd After Hours Nightmare coming to Halloween Horror Nights 2022. Now, I'm going to leave the comment section open unless it just gets flooded with hate and negativity, so please try your best. If you disagree, just let me know why you disagree down below. And honestly, if you're excited for it, let me know in the comment section as well, because I'm excited for it. I'm excited for something new and fresh to come to Horror Nights this year, and new and fresh meaning it's just a whole different thing. And I'm excited to see how Murdy pulls it off, because this is going to be awesome in my opinion. But anyways, everyone, that's going to do it for today's video. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe with those bell notifications on, leave this video a like, and make sure to check out the merchandise down below in the description. Like I said, we got a new collection on there, so it really does help out the channel a whole lot, even if you just check it out and click on the website. Anyways, everyone, my name is Scott. You've been watching Exploring Attractions. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.